Well, thank you, everybody. This is another webinar. We love technology, don't we, man? When it works, it's great. When it doesn't, it's not. We should do maybe we should do a behind the scenes webinar thing to show the last minute tension and everything. Hey, we're going to talk about AmaWaterways tonight. Marcy New, the representative, wonderful representative that calls on us.
Wave, Marcy.
Marcy, wave.
Hello, everybody.
We, Mimi and I, about 15 years ago, decided we wanted to learn the river cruise industry. We thought it'd be a big deal, and it most certainly has become a big deal. And I think when everything comes back, as it's starting to come back right now, we're going to see river cruising get to be a bigger deal because of the small size ships and where they go. That will be an absolute blessing, I think, for all of us. But there will be a lot that will happen in the next few weeks and the next few months. We'll know a whole lot more. But the one thing I wanted to share with you is, again, when Mimi and I learned the river cruise industry and we got our staff on river cruises and we learned the rivers, we learned the differences in all the river cruise lines. That firsthand experience is just absolutely invaluable. And we know the itineraries, we know the different cruise lines, the ships, all of that. And tonight, I think this is real exciting because we're going to cover two things. Number one, the new itineraries, the new destinations, the new tweaks to existing itineraries that will be coming up in 2021 and 2022. We want you to be one of the first to hear about that, and I think that's really cool. The other thing I think that is very important we want to talk to you about is so many people have had, unfortunately, their river cruises. They were not able to go on river cruises this spring and early summer so far, and who knows whether that will continue to happen or not. We'll find out shortly. But people have gotten refunds and people have gotten future cruise credits, thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of people. So I do want you all to be aware, we are seeing this already with all the people that did get refunds, that did get future cruise credits, that were not able to go on their river cruise vacation this year on AMA or on any of the river cruise lines. What's happening is they're now making their vacation plans, or they have in the last few months, for next year, for 2022. As a result of that, the river cruise lines are all seeing that there's going to be less availability, so they will be able to sell the limited availability that they have for 2021 and 2022 as a result of that, especially the most popular rivers and the peak times of the year. You're going to see prices going up and up and up. So it would be our strongest recommendation, my strongest recommendation, that if you've had a refund or if you have a future cruise credit, get one of the cruise holidays knowledgeable counselors to help you get planned what you want for next year and when you want it. You will be glad you did this earlier than later, I can promise you that. So with that said, I think what I'll do is I'm going to turn it over to Marcy, because we've had a chance to, Marcy trains our staff so very well, and we've had a chance to hear about all these new itineraries, and there's really some exciting things that Marcy's going to share with you. So Nicole, if I could ask you to hand it over to Marcy, we'll let Marcy take over from me, okay?
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. I'm excited. We've got some wonderful things that were new for 2020, as well as some wonderful things that will be new for 2021. And my ultimate goal is to share with you some new destinations, some new ideas as far as itineraries, but also to share with you really kind of our state of the union, if you will, as to where we are on the rivers and what's happening since COVID-19 has been out, and since the pandemic has been really worldwide. So I'm going to get started. And so I want to talk to you just a minute about AmaWaterways. Many of you may have been booked with us. Many of you may going to be booked with us. You just, unfortunately, we had to suspend sailings and it interrupted your vacation. And so really, truly at AmaWaterways, what we look at is we look at why we want you to know what makes us different. And we want you to know that the rivers are really the vessels and veins of these countries. We're not like the oceans where we just border those big cities on the outer edges. We are truly the vessels and veins of the country because we take you through the destination to experience all of the local cultures, not just to the destination. We're a family-owned and operated company, for those of you who may not know that. Our initiating founder, Rudy Schreiner, also was a founder at other cruise lines, other river lines, Viking, Avalon, Uniworld. And Rudy, by trade, is known as the godfather of the rivers. And he is known for his innovation on the rivers. He is an amazing architect. He's from Austria, and he is an amazing shipbuilder, and that's what he really brings to AMA that's different than anyone else on the rivers. And what I mean by that is he builds our ships more shallow at the draw than anyone else. So what that means to you as a guest is that rivers come three ways. We come high, low, and perfect as far as water conditions. So you can imagine the perfect is exactly where we'd like to be all the time. The high waters, at least we have water to get those ships out there. It can cause some challenges, but the low waters are really our biggest challenge. And in 2018, we had some challenges with the rivers on the Rhine and the Danube, and we were the only river line that was able to operate. And we operated, if you can imagine, in 11 inches of water on the Rhine River. Our ships continued to sail. So we're very proud of that. And he brings to the industry incredible innovation in the shipbuilding as well as design. Then you have Christine Kars, who is absolutely amazing, and she is an owner as well. And Christine has a dual degree in tourism from East Berlin, is where she had grown up, and she had many contacts to help us put the packaging together. And then we have the Murphy family, and this is Gary Murphy. His father was a founder as well, and Gary has taken his position within the company and is very active with us each and every day from the sales standpoint. This is a map. I'm not going to go through the whole thing with you. Many of you know this map. You've been maybe to one of my presentations, but just to give you an idea, this is the largest river in Western Europe, being the Danube. More capacity on this river than any other river, and the only river that really offers the 14-day consecutive sailing. So if you've had a refund, if you've taken a refund because you weren't sure what you wanted to do, or you've taken a future cruise credit, you might want to take those extra dollars we gave you and add on to that 7-day sailing. All of the rivers offer you the pre and post packaging as well, so you can turn those into even longer sailings if you would like, or longer vacations. This is the Rhine River, being a 7-day river as well, taking you from Switzerland all the way up to the Netherlands. You have the Seine River, and I'm going to touch base on this here in just a bit because we have a beautiful new itinerary here. And this is currently a round trip Paris itinerary with the beautiful beaches of Normandy. So very important in history. Then we have the Bordeaux region on the Garonne River, and this of course speaks for itself. It's the old world wines of France on the western side of the country, and it has beautiful terrace land in the Loire Valley. Then you come down here and you have the Douro River, and this might be something you're interested in trying. It just really depends. The Douro River is in Portugal and Spain, and I'm excited to say these particular two countries have opened up. So we are just taking our time to find out the country protocol to see what and when we can start sailing on that particular river. And then we have the Rhone River over here, and it's the eastern side of France. And I'm very excited to say I'm going to talk with you tonight about a new itinerary on the Saône River. We have not sailed the Saône River before, and so this is a new experience for everyone. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that river. Then we have the Mosel, and the Mosel River is up here. It's a small river, and we combine the Mosel with the Main and the Rhine, or the Main and the Danube, because it is a smaller river. So it doesn't, we cannot facilitate a 7-day sailing, and that's really the minimum day sailing that we offer. Then you have Vietnam and Cambodia in the Mekong region. You have Africa in the northern part of Botswana, all the way down to Cape Town and all the way up to the Serengeti. And we have this fabulous new itinerary going through Egypt, and we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. So why AmaWaterways? We have the highest rated ships in Europe. We've remained the highest rated ships in Europe the past 4 years, which is the first 4 years that they ever ranked and rated the ships in Europe by Berlitz, the travel writers. They've been writing travel for many, many years. And we hold the 1 through 10 out of 15 spots on the rivers in Europe with our ships. So hopefully you'll get to come over and allow us to show you the beautiful service and the beautiful vessels and destinations. Award-winning dining experience. We're one of the only river lines that have the La Chaîne Rôdesseur signature, which is a French culinary society, very well established and very prestigious. And really, we have 5-star dining options for you. As we go through the changes with the pandemic, I want everyone to feel very comfortable that we have put into place all the protocols to make sure that the dining experience is very safe. We will not have any type of buffet style dining. Everything will be custom ordered and everything delivered to our tables. And our exceptional crew, as always, we have an amazing crew as well. We have a very high crew to passenger ratio. And what that means to you as a guest is we provide that 5-star level of service. We have the crew members, enough crew members, more crew members on board so that we can provide that to our guests. Our shore excursions are included in your journey, up to 6 a day. It just depends on the itinerary, depends on the cities and villages that we're in. We also, in addition to these excursions, we offer active excursions. So if you are that active person that likes to bicycle or hike, we offer you many different options. We even have one on the Danube that's a 21-mile ride where we drop you off in one country, we pick you up in one country in the morning and we drop you off and you meet us in a different country in the evening. So if you're that active person, you absolutely have lots of choices there as well. What you're looking at on the left-hand side is the ruins that we go up to in Bulgaria. So again, just a beautiful place for you to be able to hike and get that extra adventure. We are guest focused on our innovations. As I mentioned, Rudy is amazing on the innovation side. We are the only ones that offer you twin balconied staterooms. So you've got the French balconies right here. These doors open up. You have beautiful viewing of the river and fresh air. And then you have this balcony over here, which is going to be your tables and chairs. So you're actually out in the elements seeing the beautiful sights along the river. We have the one-of-a-kind restaurant choice. So all of our ships have 2 dining areas with the exception of the Ama Magna. And the Ama Magna is the new ship that delivered last year, bringing new innovation to the rivers as well. And it would have 4 dining options. But this is the chef's table. This is an amazing experience, lasts about 2.5 hours. We sign you up on board. We make your reservation. We have 5-star chefs preparing all the plates, all a minute for the guest. And again, it's about 9 courses paired with wines. And we also have a beautiful coffee cafe in this restaurant. It is built panoramic, so you can see all throughout both sides of the river as we're traveling. This is complimentary to our guests as well. We have the wellness host, Christine. One of our owners is very passionate about wellness, and many of us at home practice wellness, so we want to make sure you have the conveniences of home right on board the ship. So we do 4 to 6 classes a day. They don't conflict with your other tours. It may be anything from core stretching to Zumba to yoga to cardio to maybe we would have a really fun dance class. And so you've got all of these choices as well as the other amenities and offerings on board as well as ashore. And these are complimentary as well. Then the one of the many wonderful things about river cruising that I love is that about 90% of the entertainment comes to you on the ship. So it's not, not having to catch transfers and motor coaches and definitely not waiting in lines, but the beautiful entertainment comes to you on the ship. It is focused around the region that we're traveling, whether it be the Hungarian dancers, whether it be the School of Music, whether it's a local band, a local artist, whether it's maybe a glass blower. It just depends on where we are and what that region is known for. Please remembering that rivers take you through the destinations because we are the veins and vessels of those countries. And then we have the complimentary Wi-Fi and the AMA app. So you see this system right here. This is the Infotainment Center located in every stateroom. Every stateroom has this. It is something very unique to the rivers. We're the only ones that offer it. And it is a complete system that provides a full computer, first-run movies, a television, and a music system. So you've got everything you need right in the comfort of your own stateroom, and the Wi-Fi is complimentary. In addition to that, we offer the AMA app, and the AMA app is a phone application that you can load before you go, and every morning it will pop up and tell you where you are, give you a beautiful picture of something you're going to see that day. You can write a note and you can send it to your entire email database. So you have a beautiful way to stay in touch with your family and friends, and then they can also access all of your pictures if you put them on your photo album. Just a little bit about our ships and the importance of the situation in our economy today with the pandemic, quoted by Rooney, one of our, our owner that I've spoken of. AmaWaterways owns all of its vessels. They're paid for, even our new builds, the Ama Sienna and Ama Lucia, which are set to arrive in 2021. The last 10 ships were paid in cash, saving a lot of money so that we are able to apply and always continue to change, offer more options, and upgrade our services on board. Now, let's talk a little bit about, again, the pandemic and what's going on. I think this is very important, and I know many of us are concerned about the situation and how we might be able to answer your questions. So the guest boarding requirement, we ask that if you're traveling, you're already booked, you can go online and your advisor can help you with that. And there's an online screening questionnaire. The questionnaire is basically several questions about where you've traveled, where you've been, have you had any symptoms, and so forth. Then when you arrive at the ship, we have a secondary validation questionnaire prior to boarding. So you won't be boarding the ship until this questionnaire is completed. And we are fully assured that you are safe. And the refusal, of course, to comply with this, which I can't imagine anyone doing that, but if they did, then they will be denied boarding and we will transport them to a hotel locally. The crew boarding requirement, I think, is extremely important as well because our crew is very international, which is exciting, but they have to have certified medical clearance certificates. So that basically, if they must be checked out, it all must be confirmed that they are safe and healthy. And we deny boarding if they've traveled through a high-risk area within 21 days. So we're very, very in tune with the protocols, and we are following those very, very closely. The hotel service and nautical teams, we have a designated sanitation officer in consultation with all the international and national health authorities, making sure that we are following all the cleanliness protocols, that we are doing everything we can. The hygiene standards. We actually have had people on board cleaning the ships and maintaining the ships since we suspended sailings the third week of March. So we are continuing to do that to make sure that when we do get to board our first guest, everything is in order and the protocols have been followed. So we're using hospital grade disinfectants in public areas and staterooms and on all surfaces. No non-essential visitors will be able to visit the ships. So what that really means is in the past, if we had someone that maybe was a travel advisor that wanted to come on board the ship and see the ship itself and just experience a little bit of what we offer on board, they were allowed to do so. Or we may have a sister ship that pulls in and we've got guests on board there and they want to come see a different sister ship. That will no longer be allowed because, again, we are taking all necessary precautions just to make sure that our guests on each and every vessel are safe. The guests from other ships sometimes have to pass through the reception area if we are docked more than one in a row. And from this point forward, until further notice, they will not be able to come through our reception areas. They will have to go up and over the vessel, staying outside so we don't put anyone at risk. The food safety is, the compliance with the current food safety recommendations. Very important. One of those things would be that the buffets we have, of course, knowing, or maybe you don't, that we're one of the only river lines that you can order off of a menu 3 meals a day. You never have to go through that line. But we will suspend those, and we will have wait staff that will take care of all of that. And any place that we have maybe a family dining experience, those will also change, and they will become an a la carte service, so we will deliver those as well. We are also working in the direction of making sure everyone feels safe in the dining rooms. So we are working out some of the protocols to see, you will have the same table rather than circulating tables in the dining room. We'll have the guests seated at the same table so they are comfortable with knowing they're the only ones that have been at that table. So as you can see, we've done a lot to make sure that the standards are met. The other thing I want to mention when I talk about protocols in the countries is that something very, very important is one of the reasons that we have suspended sailings through July 31st is because we are waiting on the countries to let us know what their protocols are. So the protocols for health and safety are changing every day. So we are changing every day to make sure that we are on top of all of that. In addition to that, the countries are opening. Germany is open, and the German people are traveling on the rivers. The Czech Republic is opening. Austria is opening a little bit slower, but absolutely opening. Hungary is opening, and many of these countries are not requiring quarantine. So what we're waiting to find out is how many people they will allow to arrive, or how big of a group can arrive. So when we are booking the ships for 2020, we know how many people that we can book on board and remain safe and keep it safely arriving under their protocols. We have 5 new itineraries in Europe, which we were talking about, which is the Rhine castles in the Swiss Alps, which is going to be amazing. That's going to be a pre and post extension in Lake Como, Italy. I'm really excited about that one. And then we have the Danube, and the Danube now, the Ama Magna, as I mentioned, the largest river, most innovative river ship ever delivered. It's twice the width of any other river ship. It is now going to do the lower Danube. So it will also include Turkey. You'll be able to visit Istanbul on that one. The Dutch and Belgium waterways, which will start next year, is the best of Holland and Belgium. And it will also have some extensions. The Rhone and the Saône rivers, essence of Burgundy and Provence, will offer the Geneva opportunity, as well as Barcelona. And the Seine River then will also be able to offer you Saint Malo, France. So you've got lots of neat new places that I'm going to show you here shortly. The new ships will be the Ama Siena on the Rhine, the Ama Lucia on the Rhine, and the Ama Delia. And the Ama Delia will be on the Nile River in Egypt. We'll be repositioning 2 ships, and that will be the Ama Cristina to the Rhone River. I'm so excited. We're going to talk about that itinerary. And then the Ama Dante to the Seine, and we'll talk about that itinerary as well. Egypt, we're extremely excited about that, being a new river, the Nile. Beautiful part of the pre and post extensions on the Nile will be the opportunity to do the river, but also to extend to Abu Dhabi, to Jerusalem, and to Israel. So it's got some really unique new pre and post packaging with it as well. And then the Saône River, which, as I mentioned, is in the eastern part of France along the Provence region. And then we've got the Rhine, the Main, and the Mosel. And as I mentioned earlier on the Mosel River is a small river. It's a magical river, I think, is the best way for me to describe it. As you see this beautiful castle, around every bend in that river are these beautiful castles just scattered into the landscape. You've got the Main, which is very traditional and got some beautiful architecture. And you've got the Rhine, which is really known also for its castles and the Rhine Gorge. There are two new itineraries this year in this area, and they are, one of them being the vineyards of the Rhine and the Main, and that is Amsterdam to Luxembourg. So it's the Netherlands down through Germany and down the Mosel into Luxembourg. And then we've got another one called the Rhine and Mosel Splendors, which is Luxembourg to Basel. So it's the Mosel River over this a very small portion of the Main Canal down the Rhine River, taking you into Switzerland. So I want to show you what the Mosel River actually looks like, a very mountainous, very beautiful, somewhat steep with the beautiful vineyards and lots of beautiful river for you to do a lot of sightseeing and a lot of small, beautiful villages. And this is one of the things we get to see along that as well, which is the Marc Chagall windows in the St. Stephen Church in Mainz. Absolutely breathtaking and amazing. One of the many, many things we take you to see along that route. And then, of course, these new itineraries offer Basel. And then, of course, we still have the Rhine River, which is Basel to the Netherlands or the Netherlands down to Basel. And Basel is one of my favorite cities. I think it's absolutely spectacular and beautiful with the medieval bridge structures and just the architecture itself. And then one of my all-time favorite places is going to be the Abbey in Melk, Austria, the largest Benedictine Abbey that there is, one of the largest in the world that is still operational. The monks are still here, and they have the largest theological library in the world. And you round the bend in the river, and this just scatters the landscape up high in the mountain. And then we have the Rhine Gorge along the Rhine River, which is absolutely spectacular. It's about a 4-hour journey. You'll visit and you'll get to see about 26 castles. So very much known for the castle history, some still in operation, some being used for hotels, some event centers, and some of them, a few of them are private homes, believe it or not, but they're absolutely spectacular. And then here gives you an idea of one of the castles that you see along that route, all lit up at the top of the mountain and the beautiful village down below. Cologne, Germany is something that we see on these two itineraries. It just depends which itinerary you're on, but this is one of my favorite views. The best view of this beautiful cathedral is if you take a walk across this walking bridge and turn around and look back. It is absolutely one of the most spectacular views that they have. And this city has also a very, very beautiful Christmas market where the cathedral is all lit up right at the Christmas market, right in the same square. So let's talk a little bit about the new itineraries, the essence of Burgundy and Provence. So very, very exciting. This itinerary, as I mentioned a bit ago, you're going to board in Arles and go up to Chalon-sur-Saône. And this, again, is the first time that we're actually sailing on the Saône River. Normally, we've got an itinerary too that remains from Arles all the way up to Lyon, and then we have some pre and post packaging in Montserrat, of course, Barcelona. The beautiful part of this one is we're going to take you one way from Arles up to Chalon, and then you can go on over to Geneva, Switzerland. So this is a new itinerary. We're sailing much, much higher up onto the Saône River. And it's interesting, this area is known as the area of Burgundy, and it's known for its wines and its culinary experiences. It's got beautiful tiled roofs. There's lots of truffles in this area. There's a beautiful old hospital in this area that was turned into a fantastic museum that we visit. Chalon has more of a Mediterranean style architecture, so quite different than some of the other areas of France. And we go to see a monastery, beautiful monastery, and we are, it's offering a lot of different things for smaller groups to be able to see and do. So we do some wine tasting along this route, but we've made a special effort to really offer a lot more than just the wine tastings. And you can also include, as I mentioned, Barcelona. So really you can see 3 countries. So this is Geneva, just to give you a beautiful picture of Geneva. Switzerland, offering a lot. We have not done anything in Geneva, so this is our first time to offer even Geneva as a pre or post package. And then we have Barcelona. Barcelona is spectacular as well. And you can do Barcelona on the Rhone, as I had just mentioned, and spend a couple of days here and really get to explore their architecture and their culture, which is quite different than some of the other countries. The infrastructure is quite different. Now let's talk about the impressions of the Seine. Now remember that the Seine River is in the northern part of France, right through here, a very hilly river, very beautiful green lush river. One of the most important parts of this river are going to be the beaches of Normandy. So now you have two options for this river. We're putting another ship here, as I mentioned, the Almirante. So we go from Paris right out to Le Havre. And this is where it's just going to go one way. Then you're going to be able to take an extension down and come right over here to St. Malo. And St. Malo, I don't know if you know, but it is known as the pirate capital of the world. We stay in a beautiful hotel that's in the heart of this city. And then we go out to Mont Saint-Michel, which is about 13 miles, and we see absolutely one of the most beautiful abbeys, and I'll show it to you in just a moment. It's breathtaking. But here you are, a beautiful picture of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, just to give you an idea of where your pre or post extension or your pre or post vacation can start. And look at this, St. Malo. Isn't that amazing and gorgeous? Gives you a flavor of the large waters of the ocean. And then you also get this beautiful opportunity to see Mont Saint-Michel. And we have two ways. We obviously motor coach you to Mont Saint-Michel, but there's two different excursions where you can do some walking and some hiking on this. So plenty for everyone, but I think it's absolutely breathtaking. And let's go on here and let's talk about the secrets of the Nile. We do have some booking promotions available for the Nile right now. It is not at all too early to book any of these destinations that I've discussed with you. As Mark mentioned, the ships are filling up already because we did have to suspend some sailings this year due to the pandemic. And so the ships are filling up. So please, please don't wait. Start your planning and just make sure, we want you to start your planning so you get the itinerary that you want, the type of stateroom that you want, and the experience that you want on the river that you want. We will start the secrets of the Nile, the secrets of Egypt and the Nile, in September of next year. So September of 2021, we will begin, and everything is beautiful and looks right on target. You know, as you can imagine, the ships in the build process right now were, due to the pandemic, everything was closed down, but everything is on schedule. So we are looking for some exciting opportunities there. And the Amadalia is the ship that will be in that market. It is a beautiful luxury vessel that will have 8 regular staterooms and all the others will be suites. So it will have a lot of suite service and a lot of suite opportunities, if you know what I mean, on this particular beautiful ship. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, we start out in Cairo, Giza, and the Cairo area right here, and we spend 3 nights at the Four Seasons Residence Hotel in that area. And then we come down to Luxor, and this is where we board the ship. This is the Amadalia. And then we go from here all the way down into Aswan. And then from there, you can choose to do an extension onto Abu Simbel or not. And then you would leave from there, or you can extend, remembering you have Jerusalem, you have Abu Dhabi, and I just drew a total blank on my third one. Jerusalem, Abu Dhabi, and you've got Israel, excuse me, Abu Dhabi, and anyway, you've got 3 options there. I apologize. I spoke of them earlier. Jordan is your third option. So, you know, I highly recommend when you go to a destination that is as amazing as the exotic destinations that we have, being the Mekong, being Africa, and now Egypt, that you take the time to really see everything around you in these regions. As we all know, you never know when you're going to be there again. And just so you are aware, all of the future cruise credits that many of you have taken, the refunds possibly that you took because you weren't sure what you wanted to do, those can all be applied to these exotic destinations as well. We have something that I find very, very special and very important, and that is our Frontline Heroes. We want to thank you all. We all know one, many of you may be one, but we want to say thank you so much from a heartfelt appreciation of the AMA family, all of our travel advisors as well. So we're offering you the Frontline Hero offer, and what that is it's buy one, get one complimentary. So one guest in the stateroom pays for their cost of a double occupancy, and the other person goes complimentary. It's our way of reaching out to say thank you for everything that you're doing. You need to contact your advisor. The advisor will have a certificate issued for you, and then it is valid through the entire year of 2021. You can book your reservations 90 days prior to the sailing date. It does apply to Europe, excuse me. As well, this applies to ambulance, EMS, EMT, as long as they have a medical certificate, doctors, nurses. Those are really the frontline heroes that we are acknowledging at this point. And if you decide you don't want to wait till 90 days prior, we have another program where you can take $1,000 off and receive complimentary prepaid gratuities on board. So there's a couple of ways to do it. I highly recommend, if you know someone that has a medical certificate, or if you have it, please get to your advisor and let them know so that we can get one of these certificates issued for you. We appreciate you. And now I want to say thank you so very much for joining us. And I want to let you know how much we appreciate you and how much we honor the fact that you are looking at river cruising. We're excited that you now know more about AMA and why AMA and what makes us different. So Mark, I believe now I turn it back to you. And it is all yours.
Okay, thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Marcy, great job, great job. You did a wonderful job. I love the new itineraries. I love so much of what AMA has to offer, and I want our audience to know that Mimi and I have had the pleasure of getting to know personally the three owners of AmaWaterways: Rudy Schreiner, Kristen Karsten, Gary Murphy, and they are truly three of the finest human beings, not just owners, but three of the finest human beings that we've had a chance to meet and get to know, and they really do. We love their attitude. Their attitude is, let's do it right. Let's give the consumer something that they're going to be happy with, and the profits will follow. And that's exactly what's happened for them. So we really think the world of AmaWaterways. And I know you will too. Most everybody watching tonight has been on AMA, so you know them, and if you've been on them, you know them. Hey, with that said, we have a lot of groups that I love to do my groups with AmaWaterways. I've got one coming up here in October 1st through the 8th to Bordeaux in France. We're praying, Marcy, that goes. And I'm confident that, I'm pretty, let's see, I'm cautiously optimistic that it will go. And then Andrea Redding, one of our agents, has a group going to the Douro River in Portugal. What a great itinerary that is. That's late October, which is a perfect time to be in Portugal. And then we've got the Seine River again. Marcy, you just showed us the Seine River going out of Paris round trip and going to Normandy, and that's in June. So we'll be right there at, what would that be? I think the 77th anniversary of D-Day, and you know, we just had that this past June 6th here. So lots going on. And then I guess, Marcy, I think we've kind of made it known we haven't promoted as fast or as large and as much as we should and as much as we will. But Mimi and I are doing our Royal Family 2021 trip on the Lower Danube, the Budapest to Bucharest itinerary. With your help and your company's help, we're doing the post package in Transylvania to see Dracula's castle, and everything we hear about that area of Romania is just absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. And then they'll have a chance to go, anybody who wants to go to Istanbul, Turkey, can do that too, which I think would be kind of fun. So, Marcy, to your point, let's talk about availability real quick. It really is true, isn't it, that with the unfortunately thousands and thousands of people that did not get to take their AmaWaterways River Cruise vacation this year, or so far this year anyway, maybe even more, hopefully not. They do need to be considering using that refund or using that future cruise credit and get something booked pretty quick, or it's going to be more expensive, isn't it?
It is, absolutely it is, Mark. We have a lot of the sailings that I have researched for guests that are looking to go ahead and rebook for next year. We've had to maybe be a little more flexible because many of them are already sold out. So please don't wait. The springtime is very, very full. We see a lot of people rebooking in the fall season. Summer is always a busy time. So please, please get with your advisor. And I have to tell you, the advisors are invaluable. Those of you who have an advisor that's not just an advisor, but a friend and you're a trusting soul, if you will, they know what's available. They have the expertise. Mark and Mimi have done an amazing job of really educating and sending them to the rivers and making sure that they're on top of really what's going to meet and exceed your expectation. So they are invaluable. And I just say to you, please book now. Don't wait, because we don't want you to not be able to get what you're looking for.
We've already had a lot of people actually that wanted suites or better categories on some of your ships, and people have to realize these ships river cruise ships are small. They're 82 cabins in some cases or less. So the reality is you know, people that wanted suites or wanted a top level category cabin, and they're not there already for next year. So yeah. People want vacations, they need vacations, they deserve vacations, and it always is good to have something planned. And Marcy, I thought it was kind of interesting. You know, we had some people on the Seine River trip that we had, the big group we had this year in June, that rebooked with us on our October Bordeaux trip, because we've got some space on that still left, not a lot, but I think everybody's ready to get back at it. We see things opening up again, Marcy, and you know, the one thing I'm very confident about, you guys you showed us so well all the safety standards and all the things that you will be doing, even over and above what you've done in the past to keep passengers and crew, of course, healthy. You're going to be going above and beyond what everybody else will be doing and keeping everybody healthy and safe, right?
Absolutely. I know that we've already installed, you know, some of the plexiglass barriers, and our crew members will be wearing the shields, not the masks, but the shields for safety and security of the guest. And we're adapting and ready to go. We're just ready for the countries to open and give us the protocol so we can get the ships moving. So, yeah.
Yeah, and we just have to wait, or you guys have to wait to get that information. As soon as it does, I think things will open up even more. We're very happy about that. And I love Richard Fain's, chairman of Royal Caribbean. I've said it a lot. His comment is every red light turns green sooner or later. So it's going to turn green pretty quick. It looks like it's turning green here. And you know, I'm a big Chiefs fan, Marcy, so I like to say it is comeback time right now. Let's all start getting ready to go on a vacation here as soon as we all feel comfortable doing so. I think more and more people are feeling comfortable that all the protocols that are being taken seriously by everybody. Airlines will be the same way, airports will be the same way, tour companies, the transfers, everything will be much safer than it's ever been before. We will all be following our mother's instructions, and we will be washing our hands frequently, won't we?
Yes, we absolutely will. And of course, we'll have those machines all over the ship, every corner, so that you can always have the the ability to do so. The other thing, Mark, that I think is really exciting for us about river cruising, it's all exciting, but I think we're going to see, as you mentioned earlier, that a lot of people will be moving the direction of river cruising rather than the large ships. And so that's another reason to really do your planning now so that you get what you want, because we are seeing a conversion there where they want to be in a smaller group of people. The other thing that we are doing, one of the other protocols that we are doing, is our groups will be no bigger than 12 or 15 people in any given shore excursion or shore tour. So the groups, ours have always been very small anyway, but they will even be smaller so that we can make sure that the guest is safe.
One of the things I love that you do, you give your guests the audio boxes for the tours, and the guest is in control of those audio boxes 100% of the time. They pick them up in the room, and at night after the tours are over, or the evening, afternoon after the tours are over, they take them back to their room and recharge them there. So there's not other hands touching those audio boxes. I think that's important. And like you said, there will not be the self-serve buffets like there have been in the past. So
Absolutely.
that's a sign of good service too. People like that. And Marcy, the one thing we've always said, your ships are beautiful, but what people come back and why there's a 98% satisfaction or more on AmaWaterways river cruise experiences is your staff, and that Eastern European staff, primarily Eastern European staff. They're very, very special people, aren't they?
They are. They're wonderful people. They go above and beyond. They're very proud of the ship, as they call their home, and they're very, very excited to share with our guests their history, the history of the areas. Many of them have studied it or they're from that area. So the staff is really exceptional. And let me tell you, they are sitting by waiting for us to just make that call. We've got all of our cruise managers also are doing webinars and sharing with our guests as well, different destinations. And it's really fun. It's been a really joint effort, if you will, through the pandemic to make sure that we are still in the forefront of everything going on so that we can make sure that our future guests know that we are here, we're going to be here, and that we appreciate them and that we're ready for them to come join us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I do have to tell a story. We had a group on the Ama Magna, Marcy, as you know, this a year ago, November. It was an anniversary cruise for both Mimi and I's 30th wedding anniversary, and also our business's anniversary too. Our 40th wedding anniversary, 30th business anniversary is what it was. I better get that right or I'll get in trouble. But the reality is, we had one of the waiters and our cabin steward was from Romania, and we got asking him about the scenery and about what would we see on the lower Danube? What would we see? As we go south past Budapest or east, whichever direction that is, towards Bucharest. And oh my gosh, it was so neat to see the passion in both these two people's face. And they were talking to me about the beautiful mountainous areas. And, there's a lot of history there too. People just don't know about it like they do other parts of the world. But they just left me with a real desire to go to that area. So that's why Mimi and I are going to do our royal family trip September of 2021 on the lower Danube. And I think I've been on every river, Marcy, that you all go on, including the Africa experience, which was one of the most luxurious vacations Mimi and I've ever taken. We took a group there, but we've not been on the lower Danube, so we're excited about doing this one.
I'm excited too, Mark. You've got the ship, so you've got the Ama Magna, which is, the new build that no one else has, which is exciting for us, and it's a magnificent vessel. But I think the exciting part too is a lot of these countries, as you mentioned, we don't know a lot about, but we've always wanted to see them. And this is a way for everyone to be able to see them, to have the ship as their hotel, if you will, but to get to see Croatia and Serbia, Romania, Romania and Bulgaria and all these beautiful, beautiful places that we've heard about, but maybe we just don't want to venture out at a hotel and do it on our own. So it really gives a wonderful way also to go through the Iron Curtain. And that has a terrific amount of history, as we know, through the Iron Curtain, the Iron Gates, and really gives us a lot of exposure to history on that part as well.
No doubt about it. And of course, starting in Budapest, and I think there's an opportunity to go into Vienna before that even. That's
Right.
just a very special part of the world. And by the way, one thing I do want to point out to people that are watching right now, that Mountain St. Michel that you showed, that you will now have an opportunity for people to go to on the Seine River. Gosh, that's a must see. Holy cow, that was one of the most special. Mimi and I had a chance to go there a couple of years, 2-3 years back, and one of the most special places, I've been to anywhere in Europe. And I think if I remember right, it's the only place in France that the English have not conquered, because that the tidal base goes out so fast and so quick that the armies don't have a chance to stay there very long before the tides come in. And
Right.
I love the history. I love these river cruises, Marcy. And again, I'll say 98% satisfaction. There's no segment of vacation types in the world that have that kind of, or anywhere near that kind of satisfaction rating. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? I know you're very proud of that.
We are. It is amazing. It just is a reminder to the guest who's planning that vacation or looking to plan that journey that you deserve the best. We want to make sure we provide the best, and our guest is, along with our crew members, are the most important thing to us. So providing the choices and the differences just in the service levels and the design of the staterooms and the spaciousness of the staterooms makes a huge difference along the rivers.
Yeah, especially like on that Magna, if people are used to suites or great big rooms. Most river cruise ships do not have gigantic rooms because they're not, they're smaller vessels. So the
Right.
reality is that Magna, if you like luxury, and bigger is better for you as far as river cruising goes, I would urge you to look at that ship, and we can sure tell you about that. It's fabulous. Marcy, I want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your support. The last thing I want to leave people with is that being part of the Travel Leaders organization that is one of the largest producers of AmaWaterways in the world, we have very favorable rates on hundreds and hundreds of AmaWaterways cruises and river cruises, and we can help people with that. But it's our firsthand experience and knowledge that almost our entire staff has of your river cruise experience with AmaWaterways and the rivers. So we're very, very happy to share with that. And Marcy, don't you think, I know you call on hundreds and hundreds of travel agents and providers of vacations, and some of them are online, some of them, the big box stores. I think we've all seen through this COVID-19 thing, never before has there been more evidence on the incredible value of doing business with a professional vacation specialist. And selfishly, I say like our staff, the Cruise Holidays of Kansas City staff.
Absolutely, Mark. Absolutely. As I said, they're invaluable. I know that probably many people who had vacations booked when the pandemic came out, they had to sit on hold lines for hours, 8-10 hours, trying to get through to these companies. And the beautiful part for us was we really focus. Our number one partner is you as our advisors, and it's so important, and I see you do it within your organization beautifully, and that is just educating the staff and allowing the staff to experience these different opportunities, so when they are speaking of them, they speak with confidence. They've been there, they've seen it, they know how to make sure that they fulfill the guest's expectation and exceed the guest's expectation when they're making their suggestions for the perfect vacation. We know that vacations are an investment, and we know that no one goes on vacation to have a bad experience. So the beautiful part is when we look at a 98% customer satisfaction rate, that we are very proud of that, because your advisor sent those guests to us so that we could show them what our product and what these beautiful countries have to offer.
Oh, yes. And I loved your line earlier, and it's really true. The river cruises go through the countries. So it's a lot easier to experience. You know, we love selling river cruises, and we love selling AmaWaterways because we know our clients are going to be so very, very happy with the service and everything they get from you. So if you're interested in finding out more, please give us a call or email us. Our phone number is 816-505-1500, 505-1500, or check us out online, cruiseholidayskc.com, cruiseholidayskc.com. And we'd be honored to help you. And if you know somebody's got a future cruise credit, we are able to help them. So even if they did not book that through us, and I know a lot of people are that went through the big box stores or the online agencies don't want to do that anymore, and they want somebody to help them, and they value our service. We'll be happy to help them. So thank you very much. And Marcy, again, thanks so much. I've got to go get on the Mimi pontoon boat here and enjoy the rest of the evening. So thanks so much for joining us, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Thank you, everyone.
Take care, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. We want to earn your business. It's comeback time, and red lights are turning green. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.